Hey there, RemPCs. Welcome to Rules of Cool, where we interview very special guests, creators, game designers, and world builders. I'm your host, Rem, and today we're bringing back Hal Nelson to continue our character creation session from October. Hal is a Shadowrun freelancer, missions writer, errata coordinator, and now Shadowcasters Network producer. And we were building a troll, rigger, maybe decker, we'll see, with help from the chat. So stay tuned because you won't want to miss it. This week's giveaway is a free PDF of the Shadowrun 6th World Core Rulebook Seattle Edition. Type hashtag RemPC in the chat for your free entry to win, and that way you can build characters right alongside of us. Don't forget you can get bonus entries by subscribing and donating bits through the Twitch chat. Every 100 bits gets you a bonus entry, and subscribing gets you 7 whole bonus entries. We also invite you to join our Discord. The Rem Alternus server is an inclusive and supportive community of gamers. Our favorite channels include Pun, Joke, and Meme, Goose Goose Duck Saturday Gaming, and support and encouragement for when you just need a little extra kindness. We hold casting calls to join our streams on the Master of Rem Twitch channel, a Learn to Play D&D program, a monthly trivia night, and more. So please check it out at the link in chat, and welcome to the community. If you love all the Shadowrun content we do, check out the Shadowcasters Network on YouTube. You'll find a ton of content, including the famous Arcology podcast and Neo-Anarchist podcast, now available in video format. You'll also find 5th edition Chicago official missions playthrough, a living campaign of 6th edition set in Denver, past episodes of Emerald Glitch from Gen Con TV, and more. So head over and subscribe to youtube.com/@ShadowcastersNetwork. Now it's time to get right into our conversation for this week, so stay tuned, RemPCs. Welcome back, everyone. It is great to have you. And welcome back, Hal.
Hello, it's good to be here. It's been a hot minute, hasn't it?
It has. We said back in, I think it was October, we were like, yeah, we'll come back next month. And then the month kind of filled up, not to mention Thanksgiving. So we made it happen. It just took a little longer.
It's a silly season.
Yeah. Well, good to have you here. And welcome back, everyone watching the show. When we were here last time, we started building. We were trying to remember, and we went back and played through parts of the video and couldn't find exactly where we said what we were building. So we're going with we believe is a troll decker or rigger. So we're going to see together, but we're going to go through some of the selections we made last time just as a quick review, and then keep building this character and seeing where we end up. And we'll be asking you, chat, to weigh in on some of our decisions. So please feel free to get involved. All right, so I know we've got displayed up on the screen now the first thing that you do in character creation, which is choosing your priorities. So Hal, what's the quick explanation on choosing priorities?
Well, you have various dimensions of your character. If you want one thing to be stronger, it's got to come at the cost of something else. So this is kind of a mechanical way to really quickly do that. With the decisions we made, we want a lot of attribute points. We don't have any magic, so we're a mundane. And we have a good bit of skill points, and balancing things out against our lack of magic and really good attribute skill points is a middle of the road allotment for expensive gear.
Okay. Yeah, and anytime during character creation, we can come back and change this if we want, right?
We can.
Okay, cool. All right. So after you choose your priorities, the next thing that you choose is your meta type. So this is where we chose last time a troll with help from the chat. And what are the benefits of a troll, or benefits and limitations of a troll, based as compared to other meta types?
Well, in 6th edition Shadowrun, everybody starts off with the same minimum attributes, but meta types have higher maximums. So trolls can be a lot stronger and tougher than humans can be.
Mm.
But if I remember off the top of my head, I think maybe one or two mental attributes are diminished, although they're not so much in the 6th edition as in prior editions.
Okay. All right. And then after your meta type, you start, we kind of skipped over qualities, because like your positive and negative qualities, you can choose next, but we knew that was kind of a big thing to go through. So we wanted to save that for this episode. So we skipped ahead to the attributes. And with that, we kind of made, for being a big troll that's usually known for being beefy and strong and heavily armored and tanky, we chose differently on some stuff.
Yeah, you don't have to be a stereotype in 6th edition. Anybody can do anything, and even trolls can be small. So what we have lined up is not a particularly very big troll.
Yeah, we've got, let's see. So we selected our body attribute is 2, which I think this then says our value is 3. So we get that +1 just because we're trolls, right?
Well, everybody starts at 1, so then we added 2 more.
Gotcha. Okay, so everyone has 1 of everything.
Yeah, everything starts at 1, and then you put in however many points. And
Okay, all right. And then agility, we went with 2. We've got our reaction, which is 4, because we wanted that a little beefier for our Matrix initiative, right?
Well, the reaction is going to help you in physical space, dodging attacks. If we're going to do driving, that's your key attribute.
Gotcha. Okay, so this is looking like our rigor. And then strength, we went with just 2 points. Willpower, we went with 2 points. Logic, we went with 4, because whether a rigger or a decker, you want a good amount of logic, right?
They're both kind of, Shadowrun doesn't have classes, but these sort of classes, these archetypes, are both very matrix intensive, and they're definite computer users. So you would want good mental attributes.
And then we have our intuition of 4 and our charisma of 4 as well, which ups us to 5. So we've got some decent stats in here, not to mention our edge attribute is also 5. And then we could also spend karma if we want to later on some of these, if we do want to boost them. But I wouldn't say we're bad at anything, because our minimum value for everything is 3 right now.
Yeah, in 6th edition, 2 is your average adult, is average for an adult human. So we're, as you would expect with attributes A, that's our heaviest investment. We're better than your average person across the board.
Cool. Awesome. we're better than the average person.
Yeah, well, in attributes. So yeah.
In attributes. So where do you want to go next, Hal? Should we go to skills next, since we're talking about attributes, or should we go back to our qualities?
Well, we're pretty much at the point where we have to have a concept in mind, so that we could pick qualities and skills that will further that goal. You don't just kind of want to do a shotgun effect of picking this and that, because you're going to end up with a weird character that doesn't have a lot of synergy between all the things that you picked.
Fair.
So I think we need to pull the trigger on deciding if we're going to be a rigger, we need to embrace it before we start doing skills and qualities.
So what do you think, chat? Are we building a rigger or a decker here? Because we might want to adjust some of our attributes, and we might want to adjust some of our priorities before we continue, depending on which way we go with. So we are a troll. That was decided.
Yeah.
But are we a rigger or a decker? So, and for those of you just joining us, a rigger is kind of like a pilot, can control vehicles and drones and aircraft and stuff like that, and can actually leave their meat body behind and put their consciousness fully into these devices that they control. Whereas a decker is basically a hacker. So hacker is our, going into, I mean, you could technically hack a vehicle too, but you could also go into security cameras and computers and comm links and stuff like that.
I think with our selection of attributes that we've selected, I think we're in a stronger position to pursue being a decker, a computer
Okay.
hacker, and a rigger, I think.
All right, let's do it.
So if we're gonna do a decker, there are some we start doing qualities.
Sorry, Billy, we're just like 3 seconds too late. Billy was like, I want to see a rigger.
No, we can do it. We can do a rigger.
Do you want to? Can we go back and do a rigger?
Yeah, we don't even need to change anything. We just need to change our assumption on what we're shooting
Okay.
for.
Okay, great.
So things that riggers are going to want are really heavy on the resources side. And since we didn't invest heavily in that, that's really going to make us need to be smart about how we build our rigger.
Okay. Does that mean we should go back and change that priority, do you think?
Nope, I think we're going to embrace the challenge. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, gosh. Oh, no.
All right.
So we're in qualities.
Yeah, I think so. Qualities are your aspects of your character that are they can be physical things like the ability to see in the dark. They can also be social things like you have a bounty out on you. They can be good and bad. What you're limited to, though, is you can only pick 6 total. Any mix of good and bad, and you can only gain, I believe, 20 karma out of picking bad ones. So you can pick 6 bad ones if you want, but you can only gain up to 20 more bonus karma.
So to clarify then, so a positive quality is something that gives you an advantage but might cost additional karma.
Exactly.
And a negative quality is something that may provide you a role play challenge or give you some sort of disadvantage, but that gives you extra karma to spend later.
Indeed.
Okay. So what are these ones that we already have selected?
Well, these came from our choice of being a troll. Trolls automatically have thermographic vision. Built tough means you're harder to knock unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
And dermal deposits is they have tough skin that acts as armor.
Cool.
These qualities you get for your meta type, the ones that come for free, don't count against your 6, nor do they cost or give you any karma. So they're just extra benefits of picking the race that you wanted to play.
Well, now here, feel free to get involved, chat, for those of you experts that want to weigh in. There are a ton between all of the books that are here in Genesis. There are a ton of positive and negative qualities to choose from. And I think for the sake of time, we don't want to look through every single one. So let's kind of go over some of our favorites that benefit either trolls or riggers. And then and we can weigh in and look at some that might be fun that the chat selects or something. But I know one for me that I usually go with is analytical mind. Is that something that's good for riggers?
That's good for anybody who uses a lot of logic skills. So that is both riggers and deckers. That is so good. It's almost a no-brainer. That is not a bad choice to have.
And what does it do?
You get bonus edge every time you use logic in a test during the game.
Cool.
So things for riggers, when they're using remote gunnery through their drones, that's all based on logic. So that's a big help for if you want to be accurate with calculating your trigonometry and your triggernometry. I did that for you because I know you like those.
I'm just going to keep blinking.
We're just going to keep going. So, and Edge is, I think we talked about it as a mechanic before in 6th edition. That is your meta currency for getting for getting bonuses to do things. You can use
Yeah.
edge to reroll dice. You can use edge to unlock special moves that you need to spend edge to do, and so on.
What are some of your favorite? So, analytical mind is a positive quality. What are some of
Yep.
your favorite positive qualities?
Ones that give you edge are always nice because of the importance of edge. But since we got that covered, something that is expensive but nice is I think it's exceptional skill, where it allows you to put maximum of 7 ranks into a skill rather than 6. So you can get that little extra advantage right out of the gates. And since we have so many skill points, that may even be something to look at for this character.
Is that exceptional attribute or exceptional skill?
Skill. I don't have my
So,
PDF open, but let me see if I can find it in the book real quick.
yeah, we see exceptional attribute. Isn't it exceptional skill? Isn't it you have a specialty and then a what's it called?
Attribute.
I shouldn't ask you questions while you're reading, I guess, huh?
Oh, it's aptitude.
Aptitude. Okay.
Page 70.
Page 70. Okay. And
Guess,
then make a
yeah.
selection. So we choose our skill. So what, piloting because we're a rigger?
Well, we're not going to have very many toys to play with resources C. So that is one thing that we could do. That'd be a very sensible choice. Given we're going to start with so few toys, maybe being a character who's going to steal and build his own toys, we might want to go with engineering instead.
Okay.
That would also cover the kind of gunnery, which would then synergize with your analytical mind that we've already got.
Cool. I like that. All right. So we've got an aptitude of engineering. And what's another
So engineering is basic. That's your MacGyver skill. If it's any kind of technical task, engineering probably covers it.
okay. And then what's another positive quality you like?
Well, my particular building interest is I like to come out of it with extra karma. So I like the negative qualities. However, I like the
Okay.
negative qualities that are actually fun to suffer from.
Okay.
I mean, you certainly could. There's enough of them out there. You could pick negative qualities that'll just give you free karma that you're not going to actually even see the downside of, but that isn't any fun. Trying to remember the name of it from Double Clutch, but I think it's maybe Bad Luck, where you glitch on 1s and 2s, not just 1s.
Oh no, that's so mean.
But it's fun.
Bad luck. Oh, this poor rigger. Oh goodness. Apparently, in the Shadowrun Denver stream that we run on Wednesdays on twitch.tv/Master of Rem, apparently Ava's character has bad luck, and Ava's going to be playing later tonight. But her character on Denver is apparently really struggles with this.
I take that one a lot. I really do like that one.
Interesting. What are some other good ones? I've used before. I know I've used distinctive style. Not saying we have to here.
Yeah, well, that's a fun one to role play because you have whatever your distinctive style is.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that Curie in Emerald Glitch has because of the lab coat. How often do you see an armored lab coat? So and she always wears it. So that's her distinctive style. We could do something. So I'm actually a new player in Shadowrun Origins, the podcast, but I think they're super behind, so I can't give any spoilers. But I did distinctive style because I'm playing an orc with dwarfism. So like when you see a wee orc, you're gonna recognize a wee orc. So I used distinctive style for that one too.
Yeah, I hesitate to say it because it drives me nuts as a game master when I see players do it. But you can absolutely pump a whole bunch of free karma out of having a diminished maximum attribute. I hate it so much I refuse to do it, but that is absolutely something you can do.
Wait, so what is it?
Uh
Is it it's
impaired, yeah.
impaired?
Yeah. Impaired whatever, and you lower your attribute by however many points of group karma you want.
That's so cheaty.
It is very cheaty.
All right. Well, we're gonna cheat because we're here to show all of the Shadowrun
All right.
secrets here.
All right. Well, you got to be careful because that last level put us over the cap, so we're gonna have to buy another positive one.
Okay. Look at that though. So, like we talked about a couple minutes ago, we have two positive qualities, which when we chose those, it like spent 15 of our 50 karma. And then now that we've chosen bad luck, distinctive style, and impaired, we're now our 50 karma that went down to 35 is now up to 75 karma. So holy butts.
Yeah, we need to find a positive quality, ideally one that costs exactly 5 if we be super OCD with perfecting the karma coming out. So hold on, jury rigor. How much was that one?
Jury rigor. Let's see.
12. Well, whatever. Yeah.
What does
I-
that one do?
If we are going to focus on our engineering skill and focus on maybe building our own drones and vehicles, jury rigor would be a fun one to have because that's where it gives you bonuses on MacGyvering things, especially if you're kludging things in a way that they're not supposed to be.
Okay.
It's like,
Okay, neat.
yeah, like, oh, I want to, I got this drone. Let me attach this fan to it. So that would be jury rigor.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, so now we are at a net bonus karma of 13. We have 6
Yeah. So we're done.
qualities chosen. So yeah, we're finished with qualities.
All right. And did we took aptitude engineering? Okay, so that's something to keep in mind when it comes to our skills.
Okay. So speaking of skills, I think that's the next thing we have to do, right?
Hmm.
All right. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So thanks. Our tech is whispering to us. So if we go back to this, which is our attributes point, um, you can see now that our max that we're allowed to have with agility is now 2 because we took that cheaty quality.
Yeah. Okay.
So we should change agility down to 1 so we don't over.
No, we should not. I
Well,
mean, we could. What we should do instead is probably knock the max body down instead of max agility.
oh, okay. So I mean, yeah, we do get the bonuses to body because we're trolls, right?
No, it just means well, the bonus is a higher maximum. So we're gonna just take that away with this quality.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. So
But
our dermal
but
deposits are not as protective as other trolls.
yeah, so instead of having a maximum of 9 body, we're gonna have a maximum of 6, which
Okay.
since our body was only 3 to begin with, that's not going to make us have to reallocate anything.
So cheaty. All right. So on to skills.
All right, so we know we're going to invest in engineering, so that may as well be the very first thing we buy.
Okay.
And since we're able to push that all the way up to 7, we may as well, since we pay.
We want to be really good at it because like a bunch of our
Yeah.
qualities are dependent on it.
We paid for that. So what do we have left here? 17 points? Is that what that? I can't
Yep.
quite read okay. All right. So other things riggers are going to need is piloting. So that should be one of our very first things we add. And then other things that every Shadowrunner needs is stealth, perception, and probably going to want some kind of a fighty skill for when you're caught away from doing things. But in our case, actually, let's hold off on the combat skills and go for electronics instead.
Okay. So we're real good at engineering.
So since we took analytical mind, we want to synergize with that and use as many logic skills as we can.
Right.
So biotech should be on our list as well.
Ooh.
All right. So out of all of that, we have 12 points to throw at things.
Okay.
Of which piloting is probably the most important.
As a rigger.
Yeah. I'd say, we're going to have to stop at 5 because you only have one skill at maximum.
And that gives us a dice pool of 10, so.
And
the dice pool, for those that are unfamiliar with Shadowrun 2, it's our rank that we're selecting for this. So the 5 in reaction, and that tells me, or the 5 points here, and then reaction is the specialty. So that tells me that we have 5 points in reaction as well, because that adds up to the dice pool of 10. So it's your skill plus your attribute equals your dice pool that you'll get to roll.
Okay. I can't quite read. What does that point say? What do we have left?
We still have 8 points.
Let's see. Let's throw 4 each into our 2 most
Logic-y ones?
2 most, next things we want to do the most of. So
Okay.
biotech is probably a good one. Everybody could use a good healer to run around with them. So out of perception and stealth, I think the stealth is going to be more important, especially because we're a rigger. We can spend money for perception. So
Do we want 2 in perception, 2 in stealth, or?
I think 4 in stealth is going to do us better.
Well, we can only have 3.
Okay, so
unless we start spending karma.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get rid of perception.
Okay. So we suck at seeing things.
All right. So this is where we can buy perception with karma.
Okay.
Worth it.
There's perception.
Okay.
Yep. And then it'll start spending. Yeah.
All
we
right.
just went down from 63 to 58.
All right. We also, I'm of the opinion you should never buy a specialization with skill points. Always buy them with karma.
Okay.
So for biotech, we're going to want first aid. What do we have left on karma?
Karma, we still have 53.
I say let's probably hang on to it for now.
Now, can you explain your theory behind why spend the specialization points in karma instead of in skill points?
Okay. Well, first of all, specialization is you picking an aspect or a dimension of the skill and being better at that in particular. So that's represented by getting +2 dice when you're using your specialization.
So in this case, if we have the 4 points of biotech, 5 points in logic, so that would be a dice pool of 9. But if we're rolling first aid, we would get 2 more points, which makes it a dice pool of 11.
Indeed.
Gotcha.
Okay, so the reason you should, in my opinion, always buy them with karma instead of a skill point is a specialization costs 5 karma no matter what. But a skill point costs more karma the higher the improvement. So, for example, taking
Oh.
biotech from 4 to 5 costs 20 points.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so if I have a skill point, I'd rather push it on the actual value of the skill rather than paying a skill point to buy a specialization, which I could buy for 5 karma instead.
Okay, that makes sense.
Same thing with if you're going to have a low skill and leave it at 1, just buy it for 5 karma rather than spending one of your skill points on it.
Mm. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So moving something from, like, for instance, doing our stealth from 3 to 4, like we did, instead of taking our perception to 1 with the skill point, that's why you did that and added perception
Exactly.
with karma. Okay. Okay, so
All right. So
uh
while we're here, this is we got one of the fun parts, in my opinion, is your knowledge skills. These are your hobbies and your things that your character does for fun. It's a lot of role playing stuff to give your character, but there's also potentially game benefits. For example, if you know a language, maybe you could speak to somebody who doesn't speak English. If you know about motorcycles, maybe your common affinity with motorcycles can get you in good with some bikers and so on. So
okay. So I
everybody
know
has a native language, which we're going to have to pick.
let's probably go with English
It would,
for
yeah, it would
this day.
actually, depend on what's your setting. You kind of need to know, like if this is going to be set in Berlin, then maybe we should speak German. But
Right.
we're going to assume Seattle, English would be the.
So we'll do English for our native language. And then Billy had mentioned in chat about if we're going with a motorcycle, um, he said more armor and toughness for crashes. So maybe we shouldn't be know too much about motorcycles.
Yeah, well, with our money, we're going to have very slim choices, but that's getting a little bit ahead. But what I'm expecting to do is have one cheap vehicle, something that has 4 wheels and walls and a roof, so not a motorcycle,
Okay.
and some recon drones.
Okay.
Um, but that's kind of ahead of where we are. But knowing that, we can kind of pick what our rigger knows about and what he likes to do based on what we have in mind. If
Okay.
we want to be from another part of the world or just speak another language, lots of languages are spoken in a big city like Seattle. So it's always advantageous to know more languages. There are, uh, every character, no characters come out of a vacuum. They live somewhere. They have some kind of relationship with other people. So kind of a pet peeve of mine is not having a list of knowledge skills. I mean, everybody likes something.
Yeah.
So it could be something like I know bars, I know the area streets real well. I don't know if we're getting any suggestions from the chat, but those would be good inclusions.
Yeah.
Uh,
And maybe even security protocols and stuff
yeah,
police scanner kind of stuff, so you know where to avoid going. And
yeah,
I kind of like that. So maybe like law enforcement security procedures could be a good one.
that would be a great one.
Cool. All right, let's add that and add our native language. What else do we have?
Well, we had a fairly big logic, so we have a bunch to pick from.
Wow. Okay. Let's see. What else, chat? Urban brawl.
Urban Brawl is a great one.
Ooh, let's do as riggers. Can we have a knowledge skill in demolitions? Because like whatever the sixth world equivalent of the demolition derby, like that could be a fun.
We could. Demolitions is also a skill under engineering, which we already have. So there ought to be some kind of way to differentiate it, like maybe uh, like
Vehicle
or,
weak spots.
or yeah, I was thinking
Crafting
like
stuff real good.
how to bring down a bridge or a building, architectural
Ooh,
demolitions.
neat. I like that. Yeah, architectural demolitions is nice. Um, I feel like this is going to be action movie rigor where it's like you dodge everyone and get the cars to crash into each other because you're so good at what you do.
Well, again, if we're doing drones and explosives, taking some cheap expendable drones, putting some C4 on them, and flying them right into the exact right spots to bring a bridge down right after you cross it, so they can't follow you. I mean, I guess that could be a thing.
Should we have like a bombs then? Like if we're playing with C4, knowledge
Uh,
of
Explosive compounds, sure, or
how to shed the heat you generate um, from the explosives. Um, yeah, yeah, I wonder if some of that though is also the law enforcement security procedures, so that like, okay, I blew up the bridge. This is how they're going to come in. So I'm going to go.
or it could be, well, I know if I blow up a bridge, they're going to send all the cops over there, and none of them over here where we want to be.
um, Billy has also added in parazoology and rust and how to avoid it. Hey, we can have multiple skills and interests. I think there was someone that I sat down at a missions table with once that had like pop culture. And
Yeah.
so like everything they did was like, well, one time I saw a movie that did blah 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 blah. And so like how, can I use that to see like would that work for how we approach this kind of thing? And that was kind of cool. Yeah, action movies from 80s and 90s. That sounds great. But we're going to have to specify because this is 60 years in the future, the 1980s and 90s. Because the 2080s and 90s is practically modern. 90s haven't happened yet, but hey, if you're an expert in the future of cinema, I want to know how. Cool. All right. So we have chosen lots of knowledge skills, silly and functional.
Yeah, we could pick more. And usually I do pick one or two more, but since this character had a bunch, let's just press on.
Okay. All right. So personal data. Come on, chat. What is our name? Our street name and our real name. This will be a fun one. I'm excited to see.
There's got to be a good.
And here for gender, I'm going to roll. Are there only male and female options at this time?
No.
Oh, non-binary.
Yeah,
so
it's like the real world. You can whatever.
I've got a D6. Whatever. So if it's a 1-2, we'll do what's the first one? Male. Yeah, 3-4 will be female, and 5-6 will be non-binary. 2. We're a boy. Or boy presenting.
I think it's got to be something about the troll under the bridge. So maybe Gruff Billy. I think that might be a good street name.
Oh. I hate it. Real name?
You can pick his real name then.
Let's do a name generator. Cause why not? All right. So name generator. Let's do fantasy. Name generators. Boop. Our name is going to be...
Oh, Todd Bridges. I love it.
Who said that?
Billy.
Oh, of course. But I kind of like Turdy Jaffe.
That's why he's gruff.
Turdie Jafi.
Who would it?
Turdy Jaffe. I love it.
Well, at least it's not Dirty Turdy.
That's what the kids called him in school. All right. So what about size? What do we put for size?
Well, we resolved this troll isn't particularly big. So, and then actually you're supposed to use metric, but nobody in the world knows how to use metric. So I just use feet and inches. So.
My husband just shuddered and doesn't know why. 6'9". Is that small for a troll?
That would be small for a troll.
Okay. And what about weight?
Yeah, maybe 300 pounds. That's
what I was thinking.
That'd be on the small size for a troll.
Okay. Hey, look, that finish button is there. So let's hit finish and see what happens.
Yeah, that is actually, if you're using Genesis, that's a very misleadingly named button because you are not finished. You're just finished with that phase.
Well, this part is kind of the next section where we get to go through all of our gear, equipment, IDs, drones, vehicles, everything. And I think we're going to need another episode for that.
Yeah, this is where you really get into the weeds. And if you want to take hours and even days to build a character, you can, although you don't have to. I expect we're probably going to do this fairly quick, even though we have riggers are among the more gear intensive and gear oriented characters, but I bet we can do it in one session. We can knock it out.
Okay. So what we will do then, we're going to do a TBD on when we're going to bring Hal back for part 3 of the character creation session, because Rules of Cool is actually booked through like February, end of February.
It's a good problem to have.
It's a great problem to have, but life happens, people cancel, and so why don't we kind of, I'll pull you in, Hal, if I have a cancellation, and we can just play some more.
Sounds good.
Awesome. So any comments or anything else you want to make about the steps that we've taken so far before we say goodbye for the evening?
No, it's Shadowrun can be a very intimidating system if you've never done it before. So hopefully a walkthrough like this, despite us tripping over ourselves, is making it more accessible. And
doing this together definitely helps.
Yeah.
And seeing some of, because now I've built a couple characters on my own by now. I got very overwhelmed the first time by the attribute priorities, or not the attribute priorities, just the priority table. But I think like even hearing you, now that I've built a couple characters, hearing you talk about like how you do the skills and kind of manipulate the system to benefit like the qualities you've chosen, like I tend to just get into role play mode. So I'm like, this would be fun. This makes sense. This makes, instead of saying like, well, this would stack with this other thing. So that's really helpful to hear you kind of go over.
And there's nothing wrong with this looks cool and this looks cool, because
right,
it's supposed to be cool and fun.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why are we doing this?
I interrupted you. Anything else you'd like to say about that?
No, I just looking forward to seeing the shenanigans tonight. And
Awesome.
I'm actually really thinking we need to change his name to Dirty Turdy, given his real name.
No, he doesn't. Maybe one of his like burner sins he could do.
You know, people always pick their own names for their runners, but in universe, it doesn't work that way. Other people give you your handle, and it's never cool.
Yeah, that's true. Awesome. All right, so we will be right back then, and we will be bringing Hal back to do more of this later. But we have to say goodbye, and we have some final wrap-up stuff to go over, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back. A newcomer to the Seattle Shadows has a job for our runners. His mannerisms may be a bit anachronistic, but his Nuyen is good. All they have to do is break into Underworld 93. But will Violet's recent video exposure help or hurt them? Join us for It's All About the Music and the next episode of Shadowrun 6th World Emerald Glitch coming up next on Gen Con TV. Don't forget that we have a wonderful giveaway of a free Shadowrun 6th World Core Rulebook Seattle Edition PDF. Thank you so much to Catalyst Game Labs for donating such a fun prize. Don't forget to type hashtag REMPC in the chat for your free entry to win, and get your bonus entries and impact the game by donating bits and subs in the chat. All funds help us to pay our cast and crew and keep producing content. You can even pick up t-shirts and merch at our Etsy store at www.remalternus.com/Etsy. And did you know that we have more shows like Shadowrun Emerald Glitch on our Twitch channel? We stream 5 to 6 days a week over at twitch.tv/Master of Rem, including the Dresden Files RPG, Shadowrun 5th Edition, Steampunk Fantasy D&D, and more. So check us out and give us a follow. Thank you all for joining. We will see you next time, Rem PCs. Bye.